Welcome to this lecture, and in this lecture we are going to be learn about the super keyword in Java. Super keyword in Java is a reference variable that is used to refer the parent class object. Super is an implicit keyword created by Java Virtual Machine and supply each and every Java program for performing importance role in three places, like at variable level, at method level, and at constructor level. The question is why we need the super keyword. Whenever the derived class is inherits the base class features, there is a probability that base class features are similar to the derived class features. And Java Virtual Machine gets an ambiguity in order to differentiate between base class features and derived class features must be preceded by the super keyword. The syntax of the super keyword I just used in my last example, which is the main Java, yes, here subclass.java. You can see here you can write the super keyword and then the super display name or any other function name. When add the super at the variable time, so whenever the derived class inherit base class members, there is a probability that base class data members are similar to the derived class data member, and the JVM gets ambiguity. In order to differentiate between the data members of the base class and the derived class in the correct of the derived class, sorry, the context of the derived class, the base class data members must be preceded by the super keyword. Now we can see the actual syntax of the super keyword. So super, and then you can write the base class, and then the data member and the data member of the name, like super, the base class name, then data member integer or float, and then the name of this. If we are not writing the super keyword before the base class data member name, then it will be referred as a current class data name, a member name, and base class data members are hidden in the context of the derived class. Here we are going to be create a program without a super keyword, and here is example of Java employee, and then the class employee, and here I just write float salary, which is equal to 1 lakh. Now I just create one class with the name of HR department, so HR and the Java. So here float. Okay, now in the HR class I just extend employee. Okay, and then here I just take the salary as a float, and which is equal to 2 lakhs. Now here I just use a function or a method which is display, and then here I just write system dot out dot println, and here's a print line is salary, which is a concatenation of salary. So it will print the class which is salary. Okay, and now I just go to the super variable, and here I just create a class which is super variable dot java. Here I just define the main method, and which is strings, and the arguments, and here the hr, which is the object is equal to new hr, and here I just create the object which is display. So I just display only the object of this hr. Here I just run this code, and so it will give us the salary which is 2 lakhs. So in this example, in employee and the hr class, like this one, employee and the hr class is common properties of the both class. The instance of cur current of or a derived class is referred by instance by default. But here we want to refer the base instance variable. That is why we use super keyword to distinguish between parent or base class instance variable and current or a derived class instance variable. So here is a program where we use super as a keyword in method level. So here I just write the source, and this is a package, and then here I just write super keyword 1. Okay, and now I just create a class, and the class is the person here, and in the person class I just write void message. So this is a function of my person class, and then print line, and this is person class. Now I just create another class which is a subclass. So here I just write the name which is student. So again I just write the method, and then system dot out dot print line, and the print line here is this is student class. Now note that display method is only the student class method. So here I just write void display, and then I just invoke the method which is display here. So message, and then I just use super dot message keyword. Okay, sorry, the super keyword and the message here. So this will invoke the parent class method. Now I just go to the another class, and then I just write test.java. So here the public static void, and the main method, and then string, arguments. And then student s, which is equal to new student. And then I just call the display of the student, so s dot display. Okay, and here super and the message. Okay, now here I just extend the person here. Okay, and I just run this code. So there is an error, so main method is not found in the class of super keyword dot person as a main as a static. Yes, here in the test class. So display, and so I just run it again, and this is the student class and this is a person class. You can see it will retrieve the data from both the classes with the help of super keyword which have the same method name. Here I just point out some important rules for the super class. So whenever we are using either super or a super means like this one, super keyword, or the super keyword with any something. So in the derived class constructor, the super always must be at the first executable statement in the body of the derived class constructor. Otherwise, we will get the compile time error. So the rule number one is whenever the derived class constructor want to call the default constructor of the base class in the context of the derived class constructor, we write super, which is optional to write because every base class constructor contains the single form of the default constructor. And whenever the derived class constructor want to call the parameters constructor, so this is a parameter constructor to constructor of the base class in the context of the derived class constructor, we must write the super like this super when we use the constructor as a parameters, so which is mandatory to write because a base class may contain multiple forms of the parameters constructor. So these are some examples and the super keyword in Java. Thanks for watching this